at the other thing. Into the fact where the victim is now the perpetrator and the perpetrator is now the victim. And that just drives me crazy. I'll assume we're live and that you're looking at me because I don't know. As you know, I'm Nat Wood. This is 30 frames a second. We got a little waylaid. We're a little short-staffed. The snow is slowed down a few things. That sounds a little wussy, and it is. But today I have like a real treat because we have done a couple of shows about New Jersey, and we've done shows about Newark, and we've done shows about Trenton, and we've had on the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition, and they are extraordinary brothers, and we've had some artists from Trenton, some dancers, and we have gotten to the fact that Trenton is a rough place to visit and a rougher place to live, but it also has extraordinary genius that comes out of there, and some committed people who do like really, really incredible things. Today we have the distinct pleasure of the presence of William E. Mackson. I think they call him Siddiqui. He'll tell us more about that. He does a thing, and I saw him on a video with Zulu Nation, and they're still out there after 1,000 years doing what they do. And he does a thing called Hip-Hop Catz. It's an educational tool using hip-hop. And I'm going to bring him on, introduce him. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to show you something that he put online that's just glorious. And he's going to tell you what Hip-Hop Catz is. That's C-A-T-Z with the way Hip-Hop Catz is spelled. And you can go online, you can go on YouTube and see all of this stuff for yourself. And with that, I'm going to introduce the brother. I'm going to ask him how he got started in this thing, what motivated him. I think you said long story short, this is the inimitable William E. Mackson.
That's it. William
Jesus
E.
H.
Mackson.
Christ, William E. Mackson.
I appreciate the introduction.
How you doing, brother?
Good, fam. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm excellent, brother.
All right. I love your energy, fam. I appreciate it.
Hip-Hop Catz. How did you come up with that? First of all, what is that? Let everybody know what that is.
Hip-Hop Catz is 4 characters that represents 4 elements of hip-hop, plus the 5th element. You have DJ Cat Scratch. You have Tiger Mike, the MC. You have Flip the Breakdancer and His the Graffiti Artist. And these,
so you have the 4 elements. A lot of young people don't know what the 4 elements are.
Right,
and the 4 elements of hip-hop
of their names. The names actually identify what is it
that's
that they do.
Breakdancing.
Breakdancer, Flip. Graffiti Artist,
Graffiti.
Tiger Mike, the MC.
MC.
And DJ Cat Scratch.
And DJ.
Right,
okay,
right.
Cool.
And they all bring the educational message of using hip-hop as an educational tool.
So this is really old school hip-hop. This is the definition of hip-hop.
This is the true hip-hop.
True hip-hop.
This is true hip-hop,
okay.
You know. It embodies the whole culture of hip-hop, which African Bambaataa had established.
Right,
the term
right.
hip-hop. And Kool Herc had created the culture in itself as far as the elements is concerned. So much respect goes out to that brother just as well, to acknowledge the 2 pioneers of hip-hop, as well as the DJ Scratch, you know, homage go out to him just as well. So by having the true nature or the characters that represents the element of hip hop. It gives the babies and youth the understanding what hip hop really is, rather than what is being projected as being hip hop. You know, as actually rap that's out there, but hip hop embodies the whole elements of hip hop. You know, so and that's what I'm doing in a cartoon's view, and the children, and giving the children the opportunity to actually become educated in what the culture is, rather than what they're being exposed to right now.
Right now, rap has had any number of effects on the culture of hip hop. First of all, it's generated billions and billions of dollars, predominantly for white mega corporations.
True.
And a couple of, black producers have done extremely well, but for the most part, it's just generated billions and billions of dollars for the industry itself.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And in so doing, rap became this one-dimensional thing, and this one-dimensional thing actually was kind of deleterious to the culture itself, because it became more about material possessions, violence,
sexual explicit,
explicit sexual. So it deviated from hip hop, the traditional hip hop, what it was intended, and became this mega money-making monster that, in effect, people confuse for hip-hop.
Right.
And you are doing something extraordinary. And I've had some of Zulu Nation on. And the things that you are doing are extraordinary, because you are bringing back an educational component, a cultural component to the communities that you live in and your people. So,
right.
Why'd you do that? Why didn't you go for the money?
It's not about the money. It is about the money, because you need an economic base to be able to control your direction, your focus, and
I understand what you mean. I think normal people understand what you mean.
You know, being part of Zulu Nation, it gives me a vehicle to be able to take this whole culture and put it back into our hands by repackaging it. By Hip-Hop Edu-Tainment, we control the term, we control the identity of what it is. We can be able to redirect the message, because hip-hop is thrown out there on everything. You got hip-hop this, hip-hop that, and there's, housewives of hip-hop, you know what I mean?
And they're all
for the love of hip-hop, you know what I'm saying? Hip-hop world star and madness, So, there has to be a distinguishable term that's going to identify what is being put out there for our babies now. So Hip-Hop Edu-Tainment gives us that opportunity. By we owning the trademark, the term is now can be applied to something that we can identify what is going to be put out there. No one else can be able to do that unless you come through us. And,
now I got my staff, and my staff is like eager to play the video. So we're going to show you what some of what he's doing. We're going to play the video, and it's extraordinary. And after that gets through, we'll come back to you. So whenever you guys are ready, just pop that thing.
You cute,
I like this. Microphone check, 1 2 1 2. Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Microphone check, 1 2 1 2. Check, check, 1 2 1 2. I'm Tiger Mike, coming straight at you. Rapper MC and his hip-hop crew. This is my story about the Hip-Hop Catz, how we came together and made a friendly pact. Break it down, break it down, break it down like this. I was in club alleyway where cats hang out. Place not to be if you were around. DJ Catz cracked was moving the crowd. Cats were dancing, it was hot and loud. The music that night had a special sound. The walls were empty, cats were getting down. Break it down, break it down, break it down like this. There was a disturbance at the club's front door. Some canines burst in, 1, 2, 3, there's 4. They were sweaty and angry when they came into the place. After having across the city chase, they were after a cat that fainted on their spot. Until he was caught, they weren't going to stop. The dogs looked for the cat in the crowded club, knocking down cats as they pushed and shoved. The cat that night was our boy Hip. He's a young cat who's mischievous. He did something wrong and dangerous. He was running for his life, even though I had 9 to get. He tried to hide behind the dancing crowd, but with his cat scent, it wouldn't be allowed. The canines sniffed, and they growled, and let out a feel for how. They got a whiff of his scent, then the situation got really tense. With their ability to smell, he couldn't be missed. That's when they started to chase after his. His ran, bumped into Flip, Flip bent and did a twist. Flip fell, hit the floor, but did something that couldn't be ignored. Who knew what things were in store when those canines came through the door? As Flip fell, he stayed with the DJ's groove and created a breakdance move. Flip went into a spin on his back. I said to myself, how cool is that? His legs spun 360 degrees like a windmill spinning to create the breeze. Now Flip was angry and chased after his to ask him why he did this. Why were you disrespectful and so rude? His answered, I'm trying to get away from those canine dudes. What did you do for them to come after you? I painted on a picture of the canine crew. His tried to get away, but he slipped. He couldn't get away from the dog's grip. The canine grabbed his by his neck and pushed him against the DJ set. Cat's scratch turntables were about to fall. With his back turned, he caught them with his paws. The scratch of the record had occurred. It was amazing what I'd observed. He was able to take a record and put it on display, while the other song end was on its way. Scratch spun back around to secure the DJ set, while still keeping the music in effect. He made Scratch on the record by mistake, like he was giving the song a short break. It was unique how he did this. From 2 records, he created a mix. His mistake became a DJ trick. It was all how he flipped his wrist. Like a true cat, he was really quick. Now Cat Scratch dealt with the canines and hits. Scratch said, what's wrong with you fools? What you're doing isn't cool. Dog, cat, get off my DJ set. Dog, get off that cat's neck. The canine growled and replied with a deep voice and piercing eye. Who do you think you're talking to? You can get some of this from the canine crew. Scratch didn't like what the canine said, so he threw his microphone at the canine's head. But it missed the canine and it came my way. I caught the mic like a pass play. The situation was really heated at that time. Some of my poetry came to mind. Before the situation became unwound, I came up with a creative rap to calm the situation down. Never tried poetry with the beat. It was that hour to give them a treat. I spoke into the microphone check 1 2 1 2 to see if it was on and get attention to. DJ Cat Scratch was still doing his thing. He kept the party moving and happening. The cats in the cannon stopped and looked my way to hear, see what I had to say. So I cleared my throat so I wouldn't choke and they would hear me when I spoke. I'm Tiger Mike because of these stripes. I came in the place to party tonight, not to see a cat and dog fight. It's just not nice or even right for you to mess up our party hype. My rhymes words went to Scratch's song, so I continued to rap on and on. Hey, you from the K9 crew, why are you doing that to that cat dude? That's when I roll. One cat to you fool. Does that make you dogs real hardcore? I think you better check your space and who's in this place. Most of these cats you one time chased. Take a look around, they plain to see. You canines bark up the wrong tree. I'm telling you dogs, you better leave that cat alone. You don't want beef, you better go chase a bone. way went into a loud burst from what I rap unrehearsed. Break it down, break it down, break it down like this. The canines decided to leave and go on their way, but one canine stopped and had something to say. You catch one this time, but this isn't over. Next time we see you, we won't roll over. What happens tonight changed the chasing game. Soon you will know the canine by our names. Break it down, break it down, break it down like this. When the canine said that, I didn't realize. Flip, hiss, cat, scratch, had my back on my side. DJ Cat Scratch, smiling calmly said, those rhymes are smooth, you cooled our heads. Flip did a dance and he said, I like the way you speak, it's cool, fun, and unique. Hiss said thanks and shook my paw, stepped away and gave me an applause. Break it down, break it down, break it down like this. Since us four cats was involved.
All right, I think I'm back here. Yeah. So we gave you a taste of some of the things that the brother is involved in, and I'm going to ask him about again how he came up with all of these concepts, because there are more to it than the cartoons. You also have characters.
Oh yeah.
So help a brother out.
Yeah. Well, they're just like Disney characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Mickey Mouse thing. You know, Disney came up with Mickey Mouse, and he's a worldwide phenomenon. We have the Hip-Hop Catz.
Right.
You know, they all, you know, we have them in costume characters. We brought the characters out of a book and put them into a full live character, so kids can be able to touch these characters and interact with these characters. Now our kids have the opportunity to enjoy their own characters, because if you look at it, black kids don't have any characters that they can relate to, that they can embrace. You know, like if they were going to Disney World or something. No characters. Even though the Hip-Hop Catz don't have a nationality, they do have an element of a cultural identity. That's what is important, you know. So it can be embraced by all other nationalities, but at the same time, it's a black culture that's being expressed.
Excellent,
you know?
excellent. I've always maintained that education should be fun. It should not be an ordeal. I remember, because I'm a parent too, I think you said 4 kids?
4 kids.
Go on, brother.
Okay, yeah, I'm a
bad
creative.
dude. But I had half as many.
Okay, congratulations.
I started
brother.
running out of money. But I remember when they were in school, and one of my son's friends, my son's friend, and this is when they were like in 2nd grade, you know, 1st and 2nd grade. He was having trouble spelling. And I'm a musician, so I used to and I'm pretty good at English, so I would take the words that he had difficulty with and like make them into songs and whatnot. And he became much more proficient at spelling.
Right.
Now, I'm pretty good at counting stuff, but I couldn't figure out a way to do it when it came to math and arithmetic. And they had something that came out, I think, in the 70s called multiplication rock. And in multiplication rock, they would come on television. And they would sing these songs, you know. And the kids would get involved in the singing, even the grown people would get involved in the singing. And they'd really learn how to sing. There was a lot of little educational programming that came on. Schoolhouse Rock there, and you know, and some of the shows, a lot of shows, they use music, they use art, and the kids really grew. I mean, to this day, I'm like, you know, 3 is a magic number. Man and woman had a little baby.
That's right.
And I really think that the key to education, first of all, music makes everyone smarter.
That's right.
And the key to education, especially educating our children, lie in not just the information that we present, but the way we present it. And like you said, we have been locked out of the education system economically, systemically, and have actually been punished for coming up with creative ideas in order to teach our children.
That's
and
right.
The fact that you are doing this in a place like, you know, starting in a place like Trenton, you know, is extraordinary. You know, because you would think Trenton would have a mindset closer to gangster rap. than
is definitely prevalent. I mean, it definitely is there just as well. You know, I've just taken my own road to addressing an issue which I had.
Right.
I had a problem with, and that was reading. I couldn't read until I was in the 5th grade.
See?
I struggled, and by phonics class, which I was enrolled in, taught me the sounds of my alphabet. You know, and that's where it stemmed out to me going into this whole rapping thing, to learning how to rap, or you know, trying to be an MC, because of the fact that I learned something that helped me grasp the practice of reading, you know, or just the practice of reading. So I learned the sounds of the alphabet, and the sounds go, which most people just hear them in the the b, you know, I learned them in the sound with abacada, fagaha, ichakala, na, pa, qua, rasta, va, wax, yeah, za. So now most kids, people will look, what's that Spanish you speak in German? But it's actually just the sounds. A makes the I sound, B makes the B sound, you know. I just put it in a more rhythmic way, you know, and there's a song, you know, called a Hip-Hop ABC song, which is a song, you know, I'm say a little bit of it. It's, I'm here to sing my ABCs, you must learn them for you to read. They're easy as singing, 1, 2, 3, let's sing them with a rap melody. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. We sung the alphabet from A to Z. You must learn your sounds for you to read. Abacada, efagaha, ichakala, na, pa, qua, rasta, va, wax, yeah, za. I can go through the whole alphabet, but that's the whole application to how I'm trying to teach our kids more to what the alphabet, what's more involved to the alphabet than just the A, B, C, D. I think that's a sanitized way of trying to teach our kids, which is old. I mean, you know, many of our kids, they accept it because this is the only thing they've been introduced to. But if they were introduced to something of a rhythm that they're familiar with every day, we listen to James Brown, we listen to the Commodores, Brass Construction, you know what I mean, the Bar-Kays, you know, we listen to certain kind of rhythms, but no one has ever provided us a children's educational program that embraces our culture and our way of our rhythm of teaching, you know. So it's been a you know, it's a reality to it, you know. So
and that in and of itself is very, very interesting, in so much as when you move from the educational level to the professional level, our culture is not only embraced, it's copied and recopied and recopied on a global scale.
Oh, most
so
definitely.
the same things that are discouraged in education are used to create global languages, global culture, and billions, if not trillions of dollars, you know, for a world market. So the only one who doesn't benefit from our culture is us.
That's right.
And the only ones ashamed of our culture is us.
That's right. That's right. And that's the truth to that. But that's where I come into to say that it's been missed opportunities. Every time we come up with a concept, an idea, black people always just shun it. It's just something we do. That's all. But there's someone else observing our practices and our activity, and they see a benefit to it and capitalize off of it. Hip-hop should have been something that we considered our natural resource, and we should have been the benefactors of it. Right now, economically, how good would our community look if we control that term hip-hop? Hip-hop would be a controlled industry by African Bambaataa and Kool Herc and Scratch. They would control an industry if they just analyzed the fact that that term that they were using was something that could have been marketable. You know, which it has, but the term hasn't been able to be owned by anyone because it was so circulated. It became a circulated term. Well, with hip-hop edutainment, I'm not letting that happen. So by me owning a term that is going to be able to turn into a market, which is a trademark, just as well as going to change the impression what hip-hop is. Now, because kids are going to be able to embrace something that is an educational tool, it's going to be a culturally fun message with it just the same, and we'll have full control of our own message within that music. So there will be no longer no manipulating of what hip-hop is. Now, you know, as being Zulu, I feel as though the Zulu Nation is the only organization that it embodies what hip-hop is. You know, if you look at any other entities that's out there that's can call themselves hip-hop, they don't have, they just have MCs. They don't have the B-boys, don't have the graffiti writers, you know, they don't have the DJs that's glorified, and they're not expressing any kind of knowledge. You know what I mean? The knowledge is the more destructive knowledge. So, you know, what we're doing is and
if you actually like look at it and break it down, the things that you refer to, MCs, well, that is massive ceremonies. That's the ability to dominate a show.
That's right.
That's showbiz skills. When you talk about graffiti, that's art. So you're talking about the ability to communicate to the masses.
Yes.
You're talking about art. When you the break dancers also art. So you're talking about the ability to communicate to large groups of people. You're talking about art with the break dancers, art with the graffiti. One is a performance art, one is an art, you know, gallery art. What's the other ones? We have
DJ.
DJ, that's technical skills. Those are technical skills.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the last one is
lyricist, MC.
And lyricist, that's literary skills.
That's
So you're really talking about skills that are the skills of Beethoven and Shakespeare and Steve Jobs, and you know, you're talking about highly technical skills that are necessary, more necessary than ever, to compete in today's world. That have just been totally shoved to the side, like they have no importance.
Right. But this is an opportunity to be able to bring it back out in a way in which we control the message. And
that is the final. That is the economics of it.
Economics. So, you know, and you can employ anyone who's into the arts within hip-hop and the educational purpose of it, you know. These individuals who practice the MCing, the DJing, the graffiti writing, you know, all of these individuals can be, and the B-boy, can be able to be hired to be able to teach kids, but at the same time educate them just as well. When you talk to literary, you know, the MCs, much respect goes out to him. If he just takes that same, many of these artists take the same literary skill and put it into a book. Now you have kids picking up some of the lyric. We're talking about the more educated, intellectual individuals, or individuals who has a story, normally a good story that a child can be able to pick up and read. Now you're building the reading ability of these kids, you know, literary skills of these kids. So and then you get the exercise out of it. The B-boys, being a B-boy, B-girl, you know, DJ. You have to learn the technical skills, how to put wires and all of that. And graph writers, you know, you become the, you know, many of these artists are just as good as what was a famous European artist.
You're talking about, you know, like Warhol with the soup cans, and
you look at these
Basquiat with the barking dogs.
Exactly. These artists, these graph writers are just as as important
they
and
are
just
extraordinary. They are
as these
extraordinary.
individuals but it's the European community that don't give it the
Why
acknowledgement or
is
the
that?
credibility. Listen, who owns the system? Who owns the media? Who owns the fields, those industries? You know what I mean? So if you don't control that, you can't make something as important if you don't have your own media outlet or you have your own industry to determine that.
Tell us about the book. You're holding a book in your hand.
Oh, this is my children's book called The Story of the Hip-Hop Catz and the Canine Crew, which this is where I started, trying to get kids to read more by using hip-hop, rap, and rhyme. I put a rhyme. I couldn't get anyone to write it for me. I tried, you know, all the
Right.
young boys would say, I don't do no kid stuff, you know. So my thing is, I said, well, dang, I have this idea and I have this concept.
All the young boys say, I don't do kids stuff.
Yeah, you know, the young rappers who
Do you know that there's a white woman in England who has become a billionaire from writing kid stuff? J.K. Rowling.
Oh, yeah,
J.K. Rowling is a billionaire just from writing books. That Harry Potter series.
And
has
Dr. Seuss would be a
Dr.
trillionaire.
Seuss, right.
You know,
right,
so
right.
it's-
And the highest grossing record of all time, especially at Christmas, I think, is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Wow.
So, I mean,
Writing this kind of literature, you can get paid. You know, financially, you can be financially situated by writing a book that becomes in everyone's household, in every school system.
especially when you're talking about stuff like that. I think that a lot of the stuff that people are writing, I mean, you might catch on, but when you talk about being able to write for children, especially cultural things, you do develop a product that can span generations.
Right, and that's exactly where I believe the story of the Hip-Hop Catz and the Canine Crew is going to be. It's going to be one of those books that all the kids, the next generation that's coming up on hip-hop is going to want to read because of the content, because it reads in a rhyme form. The characters has an appeal, you know, to the culture, and it's something different that the school system's not looking into because of the fact that it comes from something that's...
Have you attempted to incorporate...
many different school systems I've...
Do you think you'd be more successful trying to sell the concept to specific charter schools or... Because I don't see the public school system.
I made the effort in all avenues, you know. Hip-hop is the problem. The term hip-hop is the problem because of the fact that because of the people, the individuals who have controlled the media, who has controlled the culture in its form of rap, has been able to distort what it actually is, hip-hop is. So by you having an industry that is putting out the sexual explicit, the violence, you know what I mean, the materialism, that all is being glorified in hip-hop, no one wants to be a part of it.
Hold that thought. I think we have some calls. It might take a moment to get the speakers up. So whenever you get the speakers up, you can just put the call through, tell the caller to just give us a shout. And hello, caller, are you there? It's not on the speakers. Bring it up. I hear a little bit. Hello, caller, you there? All right, be patient with us, caller. They're trying to get this extensive board to come up and act right. And while we're waiting on you, I will go back to my guest. And now you were talking about, and I think I alluded to this in the beginning. As soon as the caller is ready, tell the caller to say hello. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello.
Hi. Bring it up just a little more. I can hear you.
I am so very glad to have both of you on TV and the gentleman speaking about education. I was a teacher for 30 years, and there is nothing. I'm Hispanic, and there was nothing to teach the kids phonetically how to read. There is nothing there, and he's coming up with some tools, some fantastic thing that the teachers could use. But there is this system that will stop people from changing their crumbling, failing system, and we need to really do it. And I'm so very glad that this gentleman is going to do it. I created my own songs also because I'm a singer. I created my own songs. I created my own systems. And I had a wonderful success when 10 classes wouldn't teach the kids. They wouldn't, learn in their classes. They were learning in my class. You know, it was because I put the art and music, and the kids liked it and learned it in that way.
Thank you so much. I think we have a couple of other calls. But you are so right. I really appreciate that call. And we have some of the most creative and incredible teachers that are handcuffed by a system that just refuses to
allow this kind of educational
leeway.
practice to take place.
But if you have another call, you can put the call through. Now you mentioned culture. One of the effects of culture is caller, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, we hear you now. Good afternoon.
This is Brother Shep.
Hey, Brother Shep, my brother.
Shep.
You
Peace.
are.
Peace.
Yeah, how you doing, Brother Matt?
All right, brother. Yourself?
Yeah,
Excellent,
listen,
brother.
I just wanted to, just make the connection here. This is a community channel, and, coming from the Zulu Nation's Community Affairs Department, I just wanted to say that the Hip-Hop Catz have been in the community doing community work as well.
Wow,
Particularly I remember the Freedom Fighters contingent, African American Day Parade, and the response they got from the Harlem community was awesome. Going through the community with the children and so forth. So, Brother Siddiqui has a brilliant idea, and just in terms of the children's response that we got out there. And he's done a lot more things, particularly with the People's Survival Program. So I just wanted to end this just by saying that, culture is indeed a weapon for liberation, and that's exactly what the Hip-Hop Catz do.
All right.
Peace. Good looking out, brother. Thank you. I think I mentioned Zulu Nation. A lot of you don't know how instrumental and influential this band of brothers and sisters are in the communities, in all of our communities. I mean, in every aspect of the game. I look around and they're like everywhere. And they're everywhere doing things, So as soon as I found out that you were affiliated with Zulu Nation in any way, I said, well, it's a bad dude.
And that's thanks to Brother Shep. Brother Shep was the one who introduced me to the Zulu Nation by the fact
did I have another call? Maybe not. Keep going.
Brother Shep introduced me to the nation. I always wanted to be able to be introduced to the founder of the culture of hip-hop, and that's African Bambaataa. I met Brother Shep at Malcolm X's birthday celebration, which
nice.
is hosted every year at his site, which I'll be there every year from now on, going to the brother's site, because that is my hero,
Now, one of the things about culture is that culture equals pride. And we have a lot of difficulty in accepting ourselves and loving ourselves in who we are. We tend to seek European awards, and we tend to gravitate to a more Eurocentric standard of beauty and standard of culture. We're constantly rejecting ourselves.
Yes.
And culture is very, very important, because you need pride if you are going to succeed. You have to believe in your heart that you are worthy of success in order to be successful.
Oh, that's true.
Now you alluded to the fact that the very term hip hop, has become
Stored
right. It
stored
inhibits what you do,
right.
and traditionally, it was a word that denoted positivity.
Yeah, well, it had to be something positive because the condition that it came out of, it uplifted individuals who was in poverty, impoverished, the gang scenario that they were under, the pressure that was under with the an area that was Baghdad, and for us, for that community or the community to come up with a consciousness, a culture such as hip hop under that kind of pressure, and come out with such a beautiful thing that has become a worldwide phenomena or culture for the whole world has embraced. It's a culture that embodies and embraces everyone, but it still has an African root. So African people always create in culture. That's our nature. We as black people we created the pyramids. We created the astrology, you created the science, the mathematics. That's our pride. We're supposed to have pride in what we create, and the hip hop is something that has that. It's something to have pride for, because everyone else wants to be a part of it. But we as a people have shied away from, or had run away from something that we own, we created, which is actually we should be rewarding ourselves for what we accomplished, and look at how everyone else looks at how we continue to create under this kind of pressure. Our pride has been stolen from us because of the fact that, one thing, we didn't know who we were. If you weren't allowed to read for 300-something years, you take an image from someone who's been dictating what you are and just go ahead and embrace it, because you never had a choice to be anything other than. Once you were able to open a book, though, and start reading things about who you actually are, and finding different material coming to you, like Dr. Ben and Akinan and Henry Clark.
You're getting kind of deep here.
I didn't mean to go.
No, I'm glad you're doing it, because it just shows the difference and we got calls on the phone. You can put them in. Let me see if I can get this point in real quick. It's hard for me to imagine in the year 2014, in the 21st century, that a a rapper, for lack of a better term, would even embrace the name Africa. Africa Bambaataa. It's hard for me to even imagine such a scenario. That's how far we've pulled back from who we are. But let's take some calls, because I want to get the callers in, because my callers are extraordinary.
Hello?
Hi.
Peace.
Yes, I have a question. You spoke about the culture of hip-hop. My question is, what are the changes that you are noticing? What I see is how the industry is bringing in billions of dollars, and you have new school rappers that are not even contributing to the old school, the culture, let alone the school, the education. So what are your thoughts on that? This culture of hip-hop, which is born out of the streets of the Bronx, of Queens, of Manhattan, well, of course, definitely the Bronx, with DJ Kool Herc. When I see DJ Kool Herc, basically they ignore him. Like, what is that all about? This culture that is important to us, to many of us that has grown up on it, I think it changed. But what are your thoughts as an educator of this culture? And I'll pick up. Thank you.
That's peace. Thank you for the call, sister. Appreciate it. That's to say, the people who control the term hip hop. They've made the pioneers something of the past, not paying any homage to them like they would do who they say is the king of rock and roll, Elvis. They haven't paid any homage to these individuals because of the fact that there has been a disconnect. They didn't carry, in hip hop, we haven't and carried the torch. The torch hasn't been passed down, and the torch hasn't been, you know. Some of us stepped away from the new generation coming in and didn't really embrace that new generation coming in. You know,
the exact opposite.
Right.
I mean, even in country music.
Hello?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let me put the call through. Go, caller. You got it.
Hello.
Peace.
Hi,
How
you're
you
on.
doing, fam?
Hey, Nat, how you doing?
All right,
Hey,
brother,
brother. How you
yourself?
doing?
All right. You know, I came up in the 70s. We had, and, you know, hip-hop back then was the turntables hooked into the light post in the park. DJs were out there, you know, guys like Kool Herc, Eddie Chiba, Africa Bambaataa. You know, those guys were out there. You know, and, you know, this culture today, it seems like they have forgotten the people that have laid the foundation for these guys to actually go out here and make money. It's the same thing with the singers who don't pay homage to the people that open the doors, and same thing for you know, folks in the civil rights movement that don't pay homage to the people that gave them the rights to have the rights that they have today. And I think it's really sad, and these people need to be acknowledged, because back then hip-hop was about fun. Bernie Mac used to call it the happy rap, if you remember. You know, it was about fun. Women weren't disrespected, and there were actually messages in the music.
That's right.
And after Africa Bambaataa, it seems that everything has gone downhill, and that needs to stop. Women need to be respected. People need to be respected, and the culture needs to be respected. And the sooner that these people realize who laid down the foundation for these people to actually make these millions of dollars that they're not giving back to the community, the better off they'd all be, and music as a whole would be a benefactor. Very good show, an award-winning show once again, Mr. Wood, and the brothers that's sitting with you.
That's peace.
Have a good day,
William
and stay
Mackson.
warm, people.
Thank you, fam.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
We're going to take
peace.
another call because we got a couple of calls, so I'm going to get the calls so we don't run out of time. Caller, if you're there, just say hello. How you doing?
Hello?
Yeah. Hi, how you doing, caller?
Hi.
Peace. How you doing, miss?
All right, you're on. You're on air.
Oh, hi. This is Evelyn Medley, and I just want to thank Nat Wood for having We Are Mackson on his show.
My pleasure.
And I really appreciate it, because I think he's doing a wonderful job, what he's involved in. And I think it's going to be especially good for the children, because it's going to be an educational project that he's involved in.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I have the honor of having him on. We've just been blessed to have some extraordinary people, and so you just fall right in line with that.
I appreciate
tradition.
it, brother. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, we were talking.
You know, a couple of those callers, you know, relating to some of these individuals paying homage to the founders of the hip hop. You know, that many of these individuals are, I mean, the highest paid ones are straight from New York.
Right.
How could you not even build a facility? How could you not even own a piece of real estate that would house the Zulu Nation or house Kool Herc's museum? How could you not be, you being a Jay-Z, you being a 50 Cent or a Puffy, or, you know, a Jay-Z? How could you not bring that dollars back to a community that help you gain what you have? You know, the Queen Latifah's, you know, even though she's in Jersey, how could you not build something?
I'm gonna ask you about your future projects, because I think you have some projects on the burner before we run out of time. But I just want to make this observation. I think that a lot of times we talk about the Jay-Z's and their contributions or lack thereof in the communities.
Okay.
But I also think that when you take a community like Harlem, you take Manhattan, and you look at Harlem. Harlem has a lot of millionaires. They might not have Jay-Z money,
Right.
but they certainly got as much, if not more money, than Herb Albert.
Okay.
And we don't put any skin in the game with our children. There is no reason why somebody like Herb Albert should put up the finance to save the Harlem School of the Arts with all the damn millionaires they got in Harlem.
It's a sad state. I don't know who you're referring to. I don't know the brother.
There's a school in Harlem. It's the Harlem School. It's a black school.
Okay.
It's an art school.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And as many of our foundations and whatnot, they have been cash strapped.
Right.
And in white world, it's nickel and dime money. It's not even like real money.
Right.
You know. And it took a white man, Herb Albert from Grazing in the Grass.
I know
he
exactly what you're talking about.
He financed. Now they get some more money, but they're honoring him.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense that a white man from out of town, and he ain't got Jay-Z money, he ain't got Oprah money,
Right.
he got Charlie Rangel money.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah. The political dollar.
We don't put skin in the game.
Right.
We make a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
It seems like the people who are the biggest whores are always calling somebody a whore in their lyrics when, you know,
You check it.
if we are developing a whore culture, it's mostly the males that are whores.
Right.
But tell us about your future projects before we run out of time.
That's my objective, is to be able to own an industry, and where I can be able to, for young brothers and sisters not to have to sell their soul. You know, they can be able to come in the industry with creating lyrics that is educational or fun, hip-hop, as long as it's nothing destructive or negative. They can be able to be endorsed or by Hip-Hop Edu-Tainment. You know, you can become an artist there. You know, kids don't have to sell their soul to an industry that don't care anything about them or create destructive music. You know, it's fine. I'll be able to hire the pioneers of hip hop. Cartoon I'm creating. You know, where individuals like that can be voiceovers. You know, and my live show. B-boys that's still B-boys that can B-boy from back in the day, they can be instructors in the show just as well. You know, I'm building my own studio called Hip-Hop Edu-Tainment Studio. It's a 2,500 square foot facility. I will have a green screen within it. Individuals can come to it and do their own photo shoots. I'm just not endorsing or condoning any kind of the madness that's being shown, what they call hip-hop right now, to come into my facility.
I think what you're doing is cutting edge. I think that if the moment you try to do what everyone else is doing, you've missed the bubble, and you're buying into the crash.
Exactly.
I think one of the problems we have economically is the fact that we don't buy stuff until we see everyone else has bought it, and when we buy it, it collapses on us.
Exactly.
And that's not the time to buy it. So I think what you're doing is really the wave of the future. I think you are hitting on a generation that is coming. That is smarter, they're sharper, they're more politically astute, they're doing things. I really think that you are hitting into the future, that this is a very good time to be doing what you're doing.
And that's what it's all about, you know. I mean, creating your own industry. See, we as a people what industry do we own as a people?
Right. Which is a new phenomenon.
We create everything.
Which is a new phenomenon.
Because
we built Wall Street.
We had a Wall Street of our own. You had individuals come along and say, listen, you can't do that. You're making too much money. Other individuals might take on that same philosophy, and now you have Black Wall Streets all over the place. You know what I mean? So many things that is tried has been suppressed because they see the success that's happened. I don't know what I might be subjected to.
Aggressive.
I don't know what I might be subjected to.
It's not just a question of us not knowing our culture. It is an act of aggression also. It's not just like letting the fact that we are trying to rediscover our culture, let that influence it. No, the powers that be are aggressively doing what they can to make sure that they are successful and we are not. So,
that's right.
you know.
So what I'm doing is capitalizing off of hip hop just as well, but capitalizing off it so I can create an
Do it,
economic
man.
within
Do it,
community.
brother. Do it,
You know,
brother.
and this is the new Sesame Street, and this is the new Disney.
Give us some
Sites, you know,
yeah, some
my
sites,
sites. You can go to
numbers, whatever you got.
hiphopcatz.com. You know,
Catz is spelled
www.catz. You know, you can pick it up. You can just Google it anywhere, and you can be able to pull it up. Hip-Hop Edu-Tainment is the industry which I created, even though it's it's a trademark, but I'm trying to also build an industry off it just as well, using hip-hop as an educational tool. You know, Mic Check 1212 LLC is my company that controls all of this, you know, and I connected with a brother called E. Reeves. He's also my new artist, which is, you know, I'm partnering up with him because he has, he's been able to reinvent the Hip-Hop Catz character cartoons.
Yeah, you really got to see what this brother is doing. We were not able to show you everything that they're doing. You see the book, you saw the cartoons. They have also developed, you know, characters, you know, like the banana splits, you know.
The live characters.
The live characters.
You know, of the Hip-Hop Catz.
Are you thinking about possibly getting your book into an ebook scenario?
Oh, yes, I have. You can go on, matter of fact, thank you segueing me into that,
Good,
you know, because it is on Amazon.com.
Nice,
I mean, you know, you can go on Amazon.
Okay, so
get that.
the bottom line is go and go to your search engine, pop up Hip-Hop Catz, that's C-A-T-Z. You should get the mother load. We got books for your children to read, cartoon characters for them to see, to make them smarter, better, and more culturally aware, love themselves more, and succeed in life. We got like 10 seconds. I want to thank you so much, my brother, for coming in.
I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you.
It's been a blessing to be here.
Thank you, brother.
All right,
Thank you. See you next week. Peace. We're out.
Peace. Thank you, brother.
No, thank you,
for having
brother.
me, fam.
Thank you,
You know what
brother.
I mean?